What's up, and welcome to the Dual Sense podcast for episode 165. I am one of your co hosts. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by your other co host, who's calling himself tonight Bob L. Head. Bobblehead. He's otherwise known as Travis, of course. It's his given name. Travis, how are you tonight?
Great. Isn't it weird that we can't choose our name? There was given a name. Thinking about that a lot.
Yeah, that's the first sign that you have no freedom in this world. You don't even get to
Yeah.
pick your fucking name.
It's all predetermined. Speaking of, I
Just a
fired a girl.
simulation.
No,
Oh,
I fired a girl, and she had self-made tattooed on her forearm, and I
yeah.
periodically think about that throughout the day for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Just
It was
like
tattooed on her forehead or forearm?
forearm, just
Oh, okay.
self-made, can't hold down a part-time job. Brilliant.
Yeah. Not only that, but she literally was not, she did not make herself. Like, if you want to
No.
just, if you take it the most literal sense, it's not possible.
Yeah, if you take it in the most figurative sense, she hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I understand. Can we talk about how this is our second go of trying to record episode 165?
Mhm.
The first one was last weekend when we had the entire episode recorded, done, in the bag. We get to the end, it's trying to upload. We get to literally 99%. And your computer gets disconnected, like shuts off or whatever. We were at 99% uploaded. And so the file on your end
Mhm.
was totally corrupted. And
Yeah.
I don't think there was a way for me to recover it. I was looking around. It's not on Zencaster, it's no problem. Like I would have had it for sure.
Right.
So I guess that is a benefit of Zencaster, but we're cheapskates. So
Yeah, I'm sure if we paid for something, it would work, but
yeah.
that's not going to happen.
Yeah. So we missed a news week, but we'll try to make up for it this time. And we'll see. Anyway, Travis, we are a weekly podcast where you and I get together and discuss all things PlayStation, like news, rumors, new game releases, and much more. We do it all in under 90 minutes, and we post new episodes, generally speaking, on Mondays on all the usual podcast services around the globe, including Kiev and Moscow.
Yeah, if you're listening in Kiev, let me know.
Yeah, definitely.
Hope you use my text money to buy your fucking Apple phone to listen to podcasts too.
And
Yeah,
we also
seriously, why don't you just put a bullet in Putin's head so we can move on? Like,
Yeah.
tell me you don't have Ukrainian special forces.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
whatever,
They don't
guys.
have what we call the Ukraine Mossad, and let's get this thing done. But anyway, we just got banned in Russia. How about that? But
I mean, fine.
we're also on YouTube, Travis. If you prefer to listen there, and many of you do, if you are still listening to the show after all of that, and you find yourself enjoying it, don't forget to leave us a rating or review on your podcast service, a like or comment on the YouTube. It's very helpful. And most of all, we would love to hear from you on social media, on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. We go by @the DualSense Pod, but we're also on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook as well. Our website is thedualsensepodcast.wordpress.com. You can find the shows there, show notes, our photos and bios, if you please. So, without any further ado, Travis, let's jump into our second go of episode 165, which I am affectionately calling Changing of the Guard because of our first news item here. Number one, Sony Group announced this week that PlayStation president and CEO Jim Ryan will be retiring at the end of March of 2024 after serving in the role since taking over for John Codera in 2019. Ryan will have spent 30 years at Sony and PlayStation upon his retirement after joining the Japanese company's European operation in 1994, and he will be most known for his time overseeing the successful launch of the PlayStation 5, which has sold more than 40 million units with another 25 million forecasted for the current fiscal year. While widely regarded by fans and gaming media as a non-gamer, Ryan undoubtedly is a shrewd businessman, leaving the PlayStation sector of Sony fiscally as healthy as it's ever been. In a statement shared with the announcement, Ryan said his retirement was for personal reasons, writing, quote, "As you will have seen today in the news, I have announced my retirement after nearly 30 years at Sony Interactive Entertainment. I did not take this decision lightly, and I absolutely love SIE and our community. But of late, I've been finding it increasingly difficult to strike the right balance between having my home in the UK and my job in the United States. As mentioned in the press release, I will continue my role as president and CEO until March 2024, effective April 1 of 2024. Sony Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer Hiroki Totoki will be appointed interim CEO of SIE while he continues his current role at Sony Group Corporation, end quote. A Sony spokesperson told Newswire Reuters that Totoki would serve as interim PlayStation CEO until April of 2025 at the very latest, but that it is possible a permanent successor will be named by the time Ryan retires in March of 2024. Okay, so a pretty big shock this week. Jimmy, our boy Jimmy Ryan, he's in his 60s. He has been working for Sony for 30 years. What are your thoughts here?
Yes, I was definitely surprised. I didn't first of all, I didn't realize he was 60, or in his
Mm-hmm.
60s. Also, I didn't realize he'd only been the CEO for like 4 years.
It's not a long time.
I didn't know who John Codera was when you said his name.
Yeah.
I thought a Codera was the things volcanoes have, so I was like, I don't know what we're talking about right now. I
Those are
mean,
called
seriously,
eras, right? Or anyway.
yeah. So I would have assumed Jim Ryan had been there since like the PlayStation 2 or 3, but
Yeah.
hey, whatever, man. I'm sure it's a really stressful job. Also didn't realize he was from the UK. I knew nothing about this guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Other than he doesn't play games.
Right. Honestly, I thought he was Australian, but he's British.
Oh,
So
yeah, well, they're the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I got distracted by my terrible joke about the Australians. But
Mm,
I think you have to like you pointed out, he did an incredible job as far as, as a
mm,
businessman, right? He's left them in a really good job or position fiscally, so you can't really argue with that, I don't think.
right.
I think that Hiroki makes a lot of sense to me as the intern, but I can't imagine he'll be the CEO.
No.
For one thing, he just doesn't seem like the right personality type for it to me. He does seem like he legitimately seems like a CFO to me. Like
Yeah, he
when I
looks
hear him
straight
talk,
up like a CFO too.
yeah, this is exactly what I would expect.
Right.
But he does
Yeah.
have, he does have enough pull. I think he's a good intern person. And another reason he doesn't get the position is like then you have to replace the COO as well and a CFO. So it's like
Right.
why slide a guy over? You're still looking for somebody. It's kind of pointless, and seems like it would. I don't know. It just seems like kind of a lateral move for him in a sense, even though I know it's up the totem pole. But
Yeah.
I think it's hard to argue with what Jim Ryan did with Sony or with PlayStation in his 4 years, although it was short. But he helped bring in the five. He's helped push kind of the boundary. You can't
Mhm.
argue with some of the stuff he's done. Some of the studios he's helped bring on his first parties. I think he's done a good job. And the question I think is, where do you turn as a successor? What type of person is a bigger question. Like I know you put this out earlier this week, and I think you're right. There's no way it's not going to be a gamer or
No. No.
one of us, so to speak, as you put it. But
No.
it's in coaching, oftentimes you want a different personality type. When you bring in a new coach, you want somebody completely different.
Mhm.
So what does that mean? Do you do the same thing as a CEO? I don't know. Do you want to bring in another guy who's just super business savvy? Obviously, that's a part of it, but like he'd been at Sony for 30 years. Like, is there somebody in the pipeline they can bring in to do that, or are they going to go out and
Yeah.
get a guy who rebranded GoDaddy or something like that? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
um, how are they going to turn? I think that's very interesting, but they have a succession plan at least lined up, which makes me feel a lot better about the situation. A lot of times when stuff like this happens, they're like, we don't know what we're going to do, basically. But clearly, he's had some internal talks because you know they have a successor lined up for the interim. They have a timeline. They even know, hey, at the worst, Hiroki will be there for a year. So it seems like they've
Mhm.
got their head on straight. I'm interested to see what the candidates look like.
Yeah. I think that it'll be someone to you were alluding to it a little bit. I think it'll definitely be someone that's already at Sony. Will it be kind of like Jim was? I think he was like a group head over like the European sector of PlayStation operations before he came over as CEO and president. So will it be, you know, I think it will be someone like that. I think it'll be someone who's like managing, like North American operations or European operations or something like that. I think it'll be a native English speaker. And I definitely think that it'll be someone who's more of a businessman.
Mhm.
100%. It's not going to be Herman Holst, the head of PlayStation Studios. It's not going to be Shuhei Yoshida. I definitely don't think it's anybody who's one of us, like I like you said that I tweeted earlier this week. I think that for a couple of reasons, mainly because now it's not the time for someone like that. There is way too much going on economically and in the world, generally speaking, and in the video game industry more specifically. With it's almost like college football realignment. You've got Microsoft buying people up, you've got Embracer Group collapsing. We're going to talk about layoffs and stuff here in a little while. It's just there's too much in flux in the gaming industry right now, and there's on
Mhm.
too many fronts. And then you gotta think about things like, is cloud gaming the future? Is console gaming the future? Like, there's too many big chips about to fall in the industry to get someone who is not a forward thinking businessman.
Right.
Not to say that Herman Holst and Shuhei Yoshida are not those people, but those guys are creative. Those guys are creatives. Herman used to lead Gorilla. Shuhei was a producer for games back in the '90s and when he first got his start at PlayStation. So, like,
Right.
those are more creative minded guys.
Yeah,
So
do you want a creative person leading the creative in a I mean, yes, you do, but, like, in this situation, though, if you're your capos are all creative, it makes sense to have a business guy because you need somebody
yeah,
thinking about that. You don't need them
definitely.
all thinking about
No,
games and this, that, and the other. You need a guy out there who's like, "Yeah, that's cool, but we only have X amount of money." You know what I mean?
yeah,
I think it
yeah,
makes a lot of
exactly.
sense. I think it'll be somebody we probably don't know or don't know very
Yeah,
well.
it'll be someone we've never heard of before, I think, within Sony, who has been
Mhm.
operating behind the scenes, quite successfully, I'm sure. And the true, in my opinion, you have people like Herman Holst, you have Herman Holst and Shuhei Yoshida exactly where they need to be right now. You have
Right.
Herman at the head of PlayStation Studios, you have Shuhei, the head of PlayStation Indies. It's perfect. Like, those guys are perfect for those jobs right now. They don't need to be the head of PlayStation as a whole, because I think that would take too much away from what else is happening at the next rung down. So
Yeah, you can't sacrifice that stuff.
no, no. And then honestly, if Herman got promoted, the problem that creates a domino effect, because if Herman gets promoted, in my opinion, the person who takes over his job as head of PlayStation Studios is Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog. And then that creates a whole nother problem because they just lost their co-president, and Druckmann is now, as we've talked about on the show recently, the president of Naughty Dog. And I think that
Right.
creates a vacuum there that, it's just it's a continuous domino. And I
Mhm.
don't know that now's the time for that. So anyway, long story short, I think they get a businessman. I think it's someone that we haven't heard of. In terms of him retiring, generally speaking, there's a lot of, I get it. I've made fun of Jim on the show all the time, about how he's not a gamer and how he doesn't necessarily understand us, etc. But the truth is, objectively, he did his job at a very high level. His job was to lead the PlayStation division, to make money, to make it as profitable as possible, and to to keep the customers happy. And generally, he did that, and he did it extremely well. I don't think financially PlayStation's ever been this healthy. So, I get the whole, on the flip side of that, I get the whole, he oversaw the time where, PlayStation Plus prices increased dramatically, and there was certainly some questionable decisions along the way. We've talked about them on the show quite a bit. That's not going to change no matter who is the CEO. PlayStation is still going to make questionable decisions, at least in our eyes. So that's the whole conundrum of, the employee always thinks they can do the job better than the supervisor. That's that conundrum in my mind. We're
Mhm.
the employees and they're the supervisor. Number two, and a bit of odd PlayStation news this week, reports surfaced that Sony Interactive Entertainment has instructed gaming statue manufacturer Gaming Heads to destroy all of its officially licensed PlayStation stock, even for items already sold or pre ordered. Gaming Heads was currently selling collectible statues for The Last of Us Part 2, Jack and Daxter 3, and God of War characters as well. In an open letter posted on the company's X account, which sounds weird to type and say, they didn't hold back and even name dropped PlayStation's manager of commercial partnerships, Judy Ward, going as far as sharing her email and telling customers to contact her directly about their now canceled orders. Their statement went on to say, in part, quote, We have worked with Sony PlayStation for more than 10 years to bring you some of the best video game collectibles and have been trying hard to get them to change their mind. They know you have paid your hard earned money for items that are ready to ship to you or that are in production, but unfortunately, after doing all that we can, they have told us not to ship your orders to you, ellipsis, and end quote. Gaming heads also claimed that Sony has already received royalty payments from the orders placed by customers, which hasn't swayed Sony's position on the matter at all. In a parting blow, the statue maker concluded, quote, "We remember Sony PlayStation's old tagline that they are, quote unquote, for the players. But given their recent decision that they know adversely affects those in the collecting community, willing to spend more on Sony PlayStation merchandise, than an actual console, we are now not so sure." End quote. So, first of all, I want to say that we don't have both sides of the story. We just have the one companies. But what do you what do you think about this?
I mean, right, I need to see the other side, but just from the data we have, it's very bizarre. Like, that's very
Yeah,
strange. I've heard of people cutting ties, but to cut ties and, like, pull what's already being made, what's already being ordered, and literally,
yeah,
like, drop cancel it is insane.
yeah,
That's very it's bad in every way.
yeah,
Like, there's nothing good about it, so, I mean, my initial reaction is, what happened? Like, did they do something wild? Did they jack up the price on the royalty? Did they not wanna give give them a cut? What did they do to PlayStation to make PlayStation mad? Like, because typically PlayStation, when we've seen them, like, get rid of studios and or whatever else, things of that nature, there's a pretty good reason behind it,
hmm,
'cause this just seems out of nowhere, right? So,
yeah,
it makes you wonder what the other half of the story is, but if I'm in this situation, I'm doing exactly what they did, though. Like, I'm putting out a statement, I'm sharing the email, I'm sharing what Sony told me because 'cause I'm making it very clear it's not anything that we're doing, right?
right,
Now, if I know we did something, I'm not throwing those stones, but, if we're clean, right, if I don't have any skeletons, cool,
hmm,
roll it out, put them on blast, but it's just odd, like, none of it doesn't make sense to me. They make a decent point too, like, people that are into collectibles, they spend a fuckload of money on it. It's insane.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Like, way more than like, I don't understand why you wouldn't just let them keep doing it. It's clearly not a quality issue. I've never heard anything about bad quality from these guys. Everything looks cool that I've seen.
hmm,
Again, it is only like 3 or 4 games, but you get the idea. But,
hmm,
yeah, I wanna know. I mean, hell, Sony doesn't have to respond. I mean, it's Sony, right? But
yeah.
why? I need to know why.
The weird thing to me about this is that if you're gaming heads and you're not telling the truth about
Oh,
this,
yeah.
you have picked one hell of a fight.
That's not
Like
what you pick.
if this is not true, you're barking up the wrong tree for a number of reasons. First of all, Sony can definitely take you down a peg or
Yeah,
two.
they're gonna crush you.
Yeah. Secondarily, if you are lying about this, then you're cratering your entire business because what other company would want to work with you if you go out and disparage a company publicly like this and
Right,
it ends up not being true? So it's definitely a hill to die on if it's not true, which makes me inclined to think that it is true,
right.
that Sony is doing this. The other thing that, going back a little bit, to the whole Jim Ryan thing, like this is definitely something I could see Sony doing. I could see Sony saying, "Well, we don't want those anymore. We're going to make our own figurines or whatever.
Yeah, that was
So
my
cancel the
question, yeah. Did
yeah,
they
so
buy another
cancel the
company?
you're right. So cancel the contract with gaming heads and tell them to destroy everything, and they can take the hit. With the customers. So definitely could see Sony doing that
Yeah.
without question. But
Here's the thing. You made a good point. If they Sony's gonna make their own, and they
yeah,
bought a company or they're making a company, they're gonna make their own figurines. They don't need, I wanna call them talking heads so bad.
yeah,
But they don't need them at all. They don't need gaming heads. So, yeah, cut them. 'Em. They're gonna bitch and moan about it, and then what's gonna happen? You're gonna make your own product. If the product is just as good, nobody's gonna care because you're
oh
Sony.
yeah,
Nobody's gonna care. So,
yeah.
I don't know. In a sense, if this is true and the gaming heads is just they're in a bad spot.
Number 3, several of the largest video game publishers were the victims of workforce layoffs this week, and as I previously alluded to, including Epic Games, Ubisoft, Blizzard, and Sega. Epic laid off approximately 16% of its workforce, or 830 employees. Jesus Christ. With the CEO Tim Sweeney saying that 2/3 of the layoffs were outside of core development, meaning not the Fortnite or Unreal Engine teams. Epic also sold off its music marketplace called Bandcamp and sold back most of its shares in web services firm Super Awesome as well. Fall Guys developer Mediatonic was reportedly one of the hardest hit individual parts of Epic Games. Meanwhile, now former employees of both Ubisoft and Blizzard shared on social media this week that they were looking for new employment after being laid off, though neither company has officially confirmed the staff reductions. These moves add to the flurry of layoffs around the industry, most notably at Embracer Group in recent weeks, who is engaging in a quote unquote restructuring program of its own. And finally, Sega announced that its multiplayer shooter Hyenas has been canceled, while British developer Creative Assembly is said to also be the victim of layoffs following the cancellation of Hyenas. Okay, so layoffs for everyone, almost. What do you make of this spur of layoffs, considering we're having one of the best years, if not the best year, of gaming ever in 2023?
Right, it makes you like, were their forecast even higher than the greatest year ever? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and they kinda had to see this coming to a head, you'd think.
Right.
The Epic workforce is blowing my mind. The 830
It's
people
huge.
is 15%. Like,
Yeah.
that's an asinine amount of people.
That's ridiculous.
That's like
Yeah.
5,000 people or something like that.
Yeah.
And by the way, I haven't heard of Bandcamp in I don't know the last time I've heard of them. Like, I know the marketplace, but
Yeah.
I know nobody who uses it. I've just heard it before. So that's incredible that they sold that off. They must have sold it for 5 or $6. What is selling its shares back to Super Awesome do? Or you
I
know what
think
I
they
mean?
essentially have sold like the company back to the original, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they acquired a majority stake in Super Awesome
Sold the
and they
stake
said, we
back.
don't, yeah, and they sold it back. Like, we don't want to own you anymore. Here, you can buy the shit back.
That's very strange to me. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know anything else that Mediatonic's done except Fall Guys. And in a sense, Fall Guys has kind of ran its course, I think. So them laying off people maybe isn't as shocking to me as Ubisoft or Blizzard or Epic Games, right?
Right.
I don't know, man. Like it's just strange that everybody's making all this money, but we're laying people off. It's an
I
interesting.
agree.
I don't really know what it means. It's kind of like everybody's saying we're in a recession, but I don't see anything that tells me that. See people buying stuff. I see people still consuming. The only thing I see going up is inflation. So it's just none of it really makes sense to me. I don't know if it's like a it's an equation I just don't understand, but it's very weird to
Right.
me. I'm more annoyed about Hyenas getting canceled though, because I wanted to see what Sega would do with a shooter, but it's fine.
Mhm. Yeah. It definitely seems at odds with the year that we're having. It's just like huge game after huge game, you know, I mean, just one after the other. And you gotta think that they're all selling millions of copies, meaning, the Baldur's Gate 3s, the Starfields, the Diablos, the Street Fighters of the world, Spider-Man obviously coming up
Yeah.
soon. So, like,
And Assassin's Creed is gonna sell.
yeah, Assassin's Creed is gonna sell several million copies for Ubisoft, and, Sega, I can kind of understand it a little bit better, I guess. I'm like you, I'm disappointed that they canceled Hyenas because I thought it looked cool, and also because that game is, like, super far along. Like, they've been doing closed
Right.
betas and shit, like, they canceled that thing at, like, the 5-yard line, like, going in for the touchdown, they canceled that thing, so it must have really, they really saw some bad telemetry or, didn't think that it would find its footing. The fact that they didn't even try to release it after being so far along, like, is that I think that says a lot because they they didn't even try to recoup, like, any of their costs, back on that game. So, in terms of just the layoffs, generally speaking, like you said, there's just so much money in the gaming industry right now. It just doesn't quite add up. Epic claims that Fortnite is getting stagnant in terms of player growth, and they even raised the price of the V-Bucks, the in-game currency and stuff like that. So I find that odd. Obviously, like I said, I'm not an economist or anything like that. I know inflation and everything's happening, and interest rates are high, which means that if these companies are carrying debt, that got more expensive, et cetera. So, I don't know. I'm sure multiple factors play into it, but it just doesn't check out to me for some of these huge companies. I mean, that's I mean, that's four of the biggest publishers in all of video games right there. So, it's not like it's, I don't know, it's not like it's one of these millions of publishers that Embracer Group owns. So, anyway, we'll see. Number four, the PlayStation Plus Essential games for the month of October were revealed this week, Travis, and it's a decent lineup this time out. Coming to the service on October the 3rd are survival horror game The Callisto Protocol, Farming Simulator 22, and isometric dark fantasy shooter Weird West. All three titles will be available for PS4 and PS5 until November the 6th. So, what do you think about the lineup?
Is it decent? I think it sucks.
Oh, okay.
I don't wanna play any.
You're not alone in that. I disagree.
Oh, I mean, like, I don't wanna play Callisto Protocol. I don't need to
Yeah,
be scared, and
yeah,
really not interested in surviving. Farming Simulator's fine.
hmm
The Weird West thing I looked at, but it's not for me. It's just none of it is for me.
yeah.
I'm still not sure who are these simulator games for? We never figured this out. Like, does the
Oh,
farmer go home and farm? I don't
yeah. No,
is
it's
it
for me. It's I like the police thing and farming's cool. I think I
that's
played.
fun. Why
Yeah,
is the farming thing a thing? The police makes sense. The farm I don't wanna just dr it's like the lawn mowing one. What am I doing?
yeah, yeah.
I just don't get it.
Now the lawn mowing one sucks. I will give you that. The firefighting one sucks. Yeah, they're not all simulators are
The
created equal.
firefighter one
To be
should be
fair,
awesome. That one should be
it should
cool.
be. It should be. It sucked balls, big ones. Farming Simulator 22, definitely. I'm gonna check it out at some point for sure. Weird West, I did buy this on a deep sell earlier this year and played it. It's cool. It's a twin stick isometric shooter. I just wasn't in the right place to play it. Like every decision you make matters in that game.
Oh god.
Yeah, like yeah, it it's like Red Dead, but like weird shit going, like supernatural shit going on, and then twin stick shooter, and your choices all matter. So if that gives you any idea, but they'll be out October 3rd if you want to claim them. Number five, we also have a bunch of news nuggets as well. Travis, feel free to jump in here. First nugget: PlayStation held another mini VR spotlight on the PlayStation blog this week, highlighting several games that are coming to PS VR2 later this year and in 2024. First up was hit social deduction game Among Us, which is coming to the headset later this year and will cost $9.99. Spy thriller Journey to Foundation is releasing October 26th. Cover based arcade shooter Heroes of Forever was announced and is releasing in 2024. Roguelike shooter The Foglands is releasing October 31st and will also be playable in non VR on PS5 if you don't have a headset or want to play in VR. Lemming style puzzle game 10 Hearts is coming to PSVR 2 and a demo is dropping on November the 2nd. High octane arcade slash and dash game Tiger Blade is releasing November the 17th. And finally, jet combat simulator Project Wingman was teased for a 2023 release in a new PSVR 2 sizzle reel.
Yeah, dude, I think well, I'm not interested in Among Us, but the other ones sound interesting. All of them actually do. This Heroes in Forever reminds me of the games you play at the arcade,
Yeah, that's what it is.
like
Yeah.
at the movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think Tiger Blade and Project Wingman though sound really fun.
Yeah. Project Wingman sounds like vomit to me. Looks like vomit too. Like as far as playing it, definitely would make me sick. That's funny that because Among Us actually was probably the one I'm most excited about on the list is Among Us. The other one is Journey to Foundation. It sounds cool, looks cool, and I think the Foglands actually looks kind of cool. So
I did watch a guy play Among Us in a different kind of VR that wasn't PlayStation, and he was chasing around children, making them scream, and then he would tell everybody that they were what is it called? Whatever, they're the bad guy.
yeah,
And then he was like he had them all chanting at him like 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 Red is dead or something like that, and they all voted him off and killed him.
that's hilarious. That's
I'm
see,
like,
that's
see,
the
like
fun of the
it's
game.
yeah, that's fun to me.
Yeah, yeah, you just mess with people. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I think they call it bullying now.
Oh well, I mean they shouldn't make the game that way. Also, Travis, voxel style destruction game Teardown is launching for PS5 on November the 15th, and it's heading straight to the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tiers on day one. Developer Tuxedo Labs also revealed the game's first season pass, which will release new campaign expansions for the next 4 quarters following launch. And the first quarter is, I think, some type of Wild West theme thing. And then
Mhm.
by the end of the year, we're getting a Destruction Derby uh,
Cool.
DLC with 3 race tracks and several new vehicles. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely keen for this. It looks very good.
I don't know what, voxel means, but, Teardown is cool.
Yeah, it's the Minecraft looking art style.
Yeah. I've seen people play Teardown, on
Mm.
YouTube and stuff, and it's just a sandbox puzzle, and
Yeah,
you gotta figure out how to do it. It's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah.
the worlds are what make it fun, though. That's the challenge, and then, of course, they all have different stipulations, like, there's one where you have to get everything under a certain height, but you can't break the neon signs that are
Mm,
attached. So you gotta be kinda creative how you pull them over and, you could use planks and ropes and this, that, and the other to try to keep them suspended low enough, but also high enough so they don't break, like, it's
gotcha.
pretty.
Yeah, it sounds and looks awesome. I'm excited about it. Also, the PlayStation blog went hands-on with both Alan Wake 2 and Dragon's Dogma 2 this week. If you're interested in learning more gameplay details, both sound like they're going to be bangers, of course. And speaking of Alan Wake 2, developer Remedy Entertainment revealed this week that the game will have a performance mode despite being designed around 30 frames per second. So it's music to some people's ears. Alan Wake 2 looks great. Dragon's Dogma 2 looks great. Not going to stop anytime soon with all these hit releases. Also, the previously leaked Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition was announced for both PS5 and PC, though it will come to PS5 first on October the 6th and PC in early 2024. The Complete Edition includes the base game and Burning Shores expansion for $59.99, so a little bit of a price cut there.
Yeah, that's not $60 for that, it's not bad. With
No,
with Burning Shores, I think that's worth it.
no, that's a steal. Gran Turismo 7 received a new update this week, which added 3 new vehicles: the Garage RCR Civic, the Honda Civic Type R 2022, and the Mazda GR4. Yeah, whatever that means. 2 extra menus and 29 new scapes were added as well. So,
Yeah, I can just tell you that the first 2 cars are stupid and nobody cares about scapes.
well, they got
Yeah, at
29
this
new ones, so I hope they do.
Yeah, thank God. But, at this point, you're racing online if you're playing the game. It's been out long enough that that's all you're
Yeah,
doing. So they need more.
right.
They need more GR3 and GR4 cars because that's what most of those things are. They need to add more. So it's nice they're adding them in the Mazda. Whatever. None of this other stuff matters. It just keeps them
Mm.
busy. I mean, I think it matters to the people that make the game, like because they care about car culture so much that it's probably fun for them to go out and
Oh, yeah,
bring in the Type R. Like that's a lot of fun for them. But like, I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to race.
right. Yeah,
But in sad Gran Turismo news, Gran Turismo Sport's being pulled offline.
it is. It is. January 31st, 2024. No more Gran Turismo Sport online services. So
Mhm.
RIP, RIP.
You know how it is sad when a game that you put hundreds of hours into goes away. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
hate to see it go.
we're probably not too far off from Rockstar shutting down Red Dead Redemption 2, or Red Dead Online, I should say. So really looking forward to that. Next nugget, Travis.
For real though.
I mean, yeah, I say it half jokingly. Next nugget, Paper Beast Enhanced Edition came to PS5 and PSVR2 this week for a small upgrade fee if you owned the original. Website Video Games Chronicle reported that the U.S. Federal Trade Commission plans to proceed with its in house challenge to Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, so we're not quite done yet. What this means is that the case will now be heard by its internal administrative law judge after a U.S. appeals court denied the FTC's request to pause the acquisition back in July. So I don't know. It's hard to
Right.
keep track anymore. Just wake me up when it's done.
Yeah, this just feels like the guy. Remember, I don't know if you heard about this guy. They found him in like the '60s. He was still fighting World War II. He's Japanese. He wouldn't surrender. He didn't know the war was over.
No way.
And like, when people would try to come get him, he'd like shoot at him or whatever. And they had to go find his old, like captain or whatever to come tell him to surrender.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
that's what this feels like. Dude's just holding on to every straw.
Definitely. 100%. Payday 3 studio Starbreeze is looking into removing the game's always online requirement after its launch has been destroyed by ongoing server issues, of which we have experienced firsthand.
It
So,
was I thought they were great. No issues.
yeah. Quirky first-person shooter High on Life will get its first paid DLC on October 3rd called High on Knife. And I'm not joking, by the way. In a rather EA move, Travis, EA Sports has sneakily delisted its entire FIFA back catalog from digital storefronts on both consoles and PC, meaning the only quote-unquote FIFA soccer game now available is FC 24. So, that's pretty sketch, if you ask me. Sneaky little
Oh,
bastards.
I love it. I love it. FIFA is not their sponsor anymore, so why
Not
let
true.
them
That is
yeah,
a
why let them
fair
get any
point.
more money?
That
Fuck
is
them.
that is a fair point. I bet because they don't have the rights to that anymore, they probably could not legally leave those games up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird they didn't make a statement. They could have at least been like,
I mean,
"Hey,
yeah.
this is why."
Yeah.
What it loo I see, I completely read it as they were just being mean because
Me
they were
too.
just like, we don't want FIFA to get any more money, so we're cutting them out."
Right. I mean, it could be that too. It definitely could be that. Also, Ubisoft or Ubisoft, as I have written there, CEO Yves Guillemot.
Ubisoft is awesome.
Ubisoft. Yves Guillemot stated this week that he believes cloud streamed gaming will eventually take off, and when it does, it will happen quickly. And I don't know about that, Yves. Not too sure about that. We'll see.
Yeah. What about flying cars? And if you get bored, look up when they put Neuralink into animals to test it and how bad it went.
Oh God,
It's so it's wild.
yeah, that
It's
that's
freaky.
scary. We're gonna get Neuralink in Battlefield Season 6 here next week. It's exciting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know if hopefully I talked about that in here. If not, we'll try to bring it up. Next nugget: reports surfaced this week of a hacker group claiming to have breached all of Sony's systems, company wide, and even threatened to sell the cache of data. Sony responded saying it was opening an investigation into the matter, but that's the last we've heard of it.
It's Microsoft.
Maybe. The SAG-AFTRA Actors Union voted this week in favor of authorizing a strike regarding work on video games. It is important to note that a strike has not been called yet, but that it has been approved if necessary should negotiations between all parties fall apart. If so, this would notably affect PlayStation Studio Insomniac Games and their production of Wolverine for PS5. So hopefully they can come to an amicable solution before they delay our beloved Wolverine game. PlayStation is offering new PS5 owners a free first-party game until October 20th, in yet another bid to move a record number of PS5 units this fiscal year. Sony has previously forecasted selling 25 million PS5s, as previously mentioned.
So, are we still new?
I
We're early adopters.
I wish, but it's because it's some big hits, it's some bangers that these
I mean,
folks
yeah, it'd be
can
solid.
claim. Yeah. Also, Bayonetta and Wonderful 101 director Hideki Kamiya announced that he is leaving developer Platinum Games on October the 12th. Cal Kestis actor Cameron Moynihan revealed during a Comic-Con panel this week that there is a third Star Wars Jedi game currently in the works. The console version of Cities Skylines 2 has been delayed to spring of 2024. It was previously scheduled for October 24th to release.
Oh, wait, I saw a video of that.
Oh,
The guy that breaks games was playing it.
that's funny. I can only
It was
imagine what he's
amazing.
doing.
It
Yeah.
Dude, it looked really good. Like, I mean, it was still in beta, so, like, there was weird
Mhm.
stuff, like, there was no texture on the bushes, but, like, the stuff that you could do was I mean, it was awesome. Like, you know how you can buy more land or whatever, but, like,
Mhm.
of course, he's trying to break the game, but, like, just
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact that you could even do what he's trying to do is, like, I don't know, made me excited to play the game. And
Sure.
then, like, when he was building his city, he just started building the city and, like, randomly, the whole woods around the city were on fire. Like
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it was great. He also built a reservoir just to contain all the wastewater.
That guy's ridiculous.
Yeah, so this was after he had made it run downstream into the middle of the city.
Of course. Of course he did. Also, CD Projekt Red said that patch 2.01 is quote unquote coming soon to address PS5 save file corruption issues for Cyberpunk 2077. Mojang, or is it Mojang? I think it's Mojang. Mojang announced that Minecraft Dungeons will no longer get new features or content effective immediately, so they're shutting down the studio for that one. PlayStation has removed mention of the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake from its primary social media accounts It made its announcement trailer private online this week. Axios reporter Steven Totillo reached out to Sony for comment, with the PlayStation maker saying the removal had to do with issues around music licensing seen in the trailer, which of course sounds like a total load of bullshit. It could be that developer Aspire has been caught in the crossfire of closures at parent company Embracer Group and that the project is no more. In fact, Bloomberg claimed last summer that Aspire had already stopped working on the game at that time. So I don't care what they say. Like, you don't let licenses expire for games that are coming out soon. You know what I'm saying?
Especially Star Wars.
Yeah, especially Star Wars. Next nugget. Remedy Entertainment revealed that its Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes will be combined into one game, which they say is naturally, of course, a massive undertaking. So that's something. But they say it's going to be, rebuilt from the ground up. So we'll see. Also, free-to-play kart racer Disney Speedstorm revealed its fourth season of content themed around Aladdin this week, but they also announced that Season 5 will be Frozen-themed, while data miners discovered that Season 6 is coming in early 2024 and is themed around The Little Mermaid. Website Push Square reported that PlayStation Studio Firesprite's long-rumored horror game for PS5 could be launching in 2025, according to the resume of a former concept artist who worked on the project. Rumors began swirling this week after Hideo Kojima's personal assistant posted a photo which shows Kojima editing a video of some kind. Some fans believe if you look hard enough that you can see that the file says State of Play and DS2 trailer. And I don't know, that first of all, I've looked at the picture, not quite sure.
Of course.
Huh?
Of course you have. I was going to ask you that,
Yeah.
but I knew the answer.
I looked at the picture, not quite sure that's what it says, but let's assume that it does. That's a little bit too on the nose for Kojima, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, who are we kidding? He's going to be at the fucking Game Awards and reveal his shit for Jeff Keighley. Like, he's
Right.
only going to reveal anything for Jeff Keighley. Like, he's going to be at the Game Awards, guys, not a State of Play.
What do you think it says?
I don't know what it says. I think it's just a troll. Like, I think he just named it. Now, let me back up. It might say State of Play DS2 trailer, but I think that's just a troll job. Like, I think that's like to put people off the scent, if that's what it says. Like, that's
It's
just
usually much more vague. It's
Yeah.
much more interesting.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's too on the nose for him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's way too straightforward. So I'm not buying that. Next nugget. Sony has quietly added a game rating system to the PlayStation Store this week, which allows users who own a game to rate the game on a 1 to 5 star scale on its PS Store product page. So turn it into like Steam here a little bit, minus the written review part. The next Cuphead DLC will skip the PS4 version of the game, Studio MDHR announced this week. Website PlayStation Lifestyle reported that that new studio, That's No Moon, is working on a AAA game based on a popular existing IP, according to a former writer at the developer, which is comprised of former Naughty Dog, Santa Monica Studio, and Infinity Ward employees. Slitterhead developer Bokeh Game Studio is teasing a Junji Ito collaboration of some sort, which would seem to suggest that a Silent Hill project is potentially in the works. So there's that.
Love Junji Ito.
Yeah, you like Slitterheads too?
Big fan. Yeah, he was great in Rush Hour.
Website PlayStation Universe reported that the following Juntao, that's all I can think of. Oh fuck. What?
That's why it made me think of Rush Hour,
Fucking
because it
shit.
sounded like Juntai.
Juntao. Website PlayStation Universe reported that the following games received update patches this week: Fall Guys, Cyberpunk 2077, Lies of P, Gran Turismo 7, Sonic Frontiers, Genshin Impact, Baldur's Gate 3, Street Fighter 6, Rainbow Six Siege, Tower of Fantasy, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on PC. So if you've been waiting for some new content or bug fixes, you might want to look into those. According to Insider Gaming, Far Cry 7, Travis, is scheduled to release in the fall of 2025, and it's being made on the Snowdrop engine at Ubisoft Montreal, the same engine that the Division uses. Sources told Insider Gaming that the game will feature a non-linear story where the player must rescue his kidnapped family, one family member at a time, from a group known as the Sons of Truth. So, sounds interesting, at the very least. 2K announced that online services for WWE 2K22 will cease on January 3rd of 2024. Website Gamatsu reported that Netflix announced a duo of video game animated series this week. First was Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, and the other was Devil May Cry. And I gotta say, the Tomb Raider one has piqued my interest.
You love Tomb Raider.
Do what?
You love Tomb Raider.
No, I love Womb Raider, bro.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Mm.
Yeah, it really, yeah, as much as I love Uncharted, it's Tomb Raider, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Also, publisher PlayOn released the quote unquote final cut update for action RPG The Last Oriku, which comes with a number of quality of life changes and difficulty adjustments, as well as a permanent 50% price cut to $20 on PS5. Horror RPG Sunshine Manor will release for PS4 and PS5 on October 6th. Genshin Impact Update 4.1 is available now and features new characters, new weapons, a new main story, new enemies, and more. Adventure Puzzler The Talos Principle 2 will launch for PS5 on November the 2nd. Ghost Hunting Action RPG Banishers Ghost of New Eden has been delayed by publisher Focus Entertainment from November the 7th to February the 13th to avoid this fall's slate of games. And I hate to tell those guys, but next February is not looking any fucking better. It's a Final Fantasy game and fucking Helldivers and a couple other ones there. Like, I don't know about that. Honestly,
Just release it.
yeah, November looked better than February, in my opinion, but I don't know. What do I know? I don't make games. I just talk about them. The story-driven RPG Bed is launching. No, I think it's supposed to be Ved. Yeah, Ved with a V is launching sometime in 2024 for PS4.
What
Hardcore
do we do?
Huh?
What do we do?
I have no idea what this is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched a video of the baby walking game.
Uh-huh.
What's it called? Baby Walker.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. It was great. He's just falling over. There's one where he's skateboarding into a curb and just falls off the skateboard.
Oh, so you're into it.
Like, I was watching his legs don't make
Yeah.
any sense how they move, and then I realized that you're walking
Yeah.
with the yeah. Then I figured out what was happening. But
Wow.
yeah,
Okay, well good. So
yeah. Like he was trying to cross a ditch and like it just didn't work. Like,
Yeah.
like
well, I'm glad
so
you're
now
into
I
it because I'm
understand
not.
now.
Yeah.
You're not?
No, I'm not into that now.
Oh, okay. Oh, it just
I'm
looks
glad.
funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, sure, I get it. I'm glad you're into it. You should
Yeah.
buy it and you can play it. It's
You
something you
sound
can
like a
talk about.
disappointed dad.
It's not the first time I've heard that this week. Believe it or
From
not.
what? Further in oh that. Sorry. Thought you meant the game.
Oh no, disappointed dad. I'm you know, a lot of people consider me to be their daddy. Anyway. Hardcore action RPG Sekiro Shadows Die Twice has crossed 10 million copies sold. It's pretty impressive. Side-scrolling action platformer Time Spinner 2 Unwoven Dream was announced for consoles and PC, but no release date was given. Dick Spinner 2. Anyway, side-scrolling action-adventure platformer The Last Case of Benedict Fox Definitive Edition was announced for PS5, but no release date was given.
Benedict.
Publisher NIS America announced a turn-based RPG, The Legend of Legacy HD Remastered for PS4 and PS5. It will launch in early 2024. Side-scrolling beat-em-up game Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Ultimate was announced for PS4 and PS5. It is a remastered Unreal Engine 5 version of the game and is releasing worldwide in 2024. Bandai Namco released a demo for Sword Art Online Last Recollection for PS4 and PS5 this week. Your save data will carry over to the full game when it launches on October the 6th, should you choose to participate. Chinese roguelike action game Warm Snow is coming to PS4 and PS5 on October the 20th.
I hate the name. It just makes me feel like you're peeing on yourself.
I was about to say, when are we going to get the game called Yellow Snow? Anyway. Sounds like a South Park game subtitle.
It does.
SNK has delayed the release of rollback netcode for fighting game Samurai Showdown, but has given no updated timeline for the update. The cozy adventure game Meldtime will launch for PS4 and PS5 on October the 19th. Roguelite action adventure game Hellboy Web of Word has been delayed to October the 18th on PS4 and PS5. Free to play side scrolling action RPG Phantom Blade Executioners will launch for PS4 and PS5 on November the 2nd. Souls like action RPG Achilles Legends Untold will launch for PS5 on November the 2nd. A PS4 version is still planned for a later date. The King of Fighters 13 global match will get a third open beta test on PS4 from October the 3rd to October the 9th. And finally, Gamatsu reported, never mind, Travis already said that. All right, so that's all for the news this week. And I'm going to turn it over to Travis now for this week's new games, which are not there. So let me try to pull those up. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, you put one on there, it's fine.
Yeah, I put one. It's not right. I don't think I saved something somewhere along the way. Hang on. Please hold.
We have the Phantom Liberty expansion for Cyberpunk, which Game Informer gave an 8.5.
Mm,
We've got My Time at Sandrock, which looks terrible. We have Paleo Pines. Looks like it's like a little kid riding dinosaurs. Looks like Dora made it.
mm,
We have Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Day,
mm-hmm.
Sonic Frontiers: The Final Horizon, and we have finally EA Sports FC 24.
And for some reason, Cocoon is not listed as a PlayStation game, but it is.
Oh,
It is on PlayStation, but they messed that one up. So, Cocoon is a puzzle. It's an awesome looking puzzle game. It's from some of the guys that did Limbo and Inside. So, yeah, pretty big week this week. Honestly, very big week. We've got the Phantom Liberty expansion, of course. You've got EA Sports FC 24. That right there makes it a pretty big week. And then you got a new Dragon Quest game for all you fucking nerds out there. So yeah, nice little week. And then Cocoon, I'm telling you, I can't wait to play that one at some point when I'm dead, maybe.
it'll be free.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. But anyway, that's all for the new games this week. And let's start to wrap the show up here, Travis, like we always do, by discussing what we have been playing and anything we're looking forward to. What do you got?
So finally, I beat Sniper Elite, and I played
Oh shit.
the the Hitler Kill Hitler expansion, whatever it's called, the Wolf Slayer or something like that.
Uh huh.
It's literally it's just it's a huge sandbox, right? It's as much of a sandbox as Hitman. If you want to do full stealth, like a full stealth run,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to do the maps more than once. You're gonna have to.
Mm,
You unlock different areas, right? Different entry points, and the only way to get full stealth in one go through is really to have those other areas unlocked, kind of like Hitman. If you could do it on your first attempt if you're willing to spend, 2 hours on each mission and do
right.
multiple reloads. If you are, then no worries. That's what I did. Because I know me, I'm not going to play it again,
Hmm.
so might as well just you know keep reloading at that point in time.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Really enjoyed the DLC. There's a million different ways you can kill Hitler. The first time I did my normal thing where I just kinda wormed through the map willy-nilly, kind of however I see fit, and, went up to his offices, and he was just sitting in a chair, and I cut his throat, and that was the end of Hitler.
That's how it ended. The end.
And
Period.
then next time I shot him in the balls because that was a trophy, and, but there's all kinds of ways you could kill him, like, as you're playing, you unlock intel, so, you can kill him with a truck at the tea house, you can do all kinds of stuff, and the part I thought was really cool was, I've read about all that stuff, so to actually see a visual representation of, like, what his tea house looked like,
Hmm.
what the view was, what the Berghoff looked like, all that fun stuff. I thought that was really interesting. That part was just as much fun to me as actually taking him out. It's just weird because you hear about it, like, that's his relaxation place, so now you're kinda going in there and fucking it all up, so, but
Right.
no, it's a great game. There's it's a zero stakes game for me, if that makes sense, like, there's no wrong way to play it. There's no right way. You just kind of have fun with it, and yeah, I try to be stealthy as I can, but it's also fun to just pull out. If you find an MG, a huge MG in a bunker, sometimes you just pick that up and run through the bunker with it because that's fun too. So yeah, I really really enjoy that game. I'd recommend it. Got it for free because I'm part of the premium or whatever. So
Oh yeah, there you
it's
go.
worth your time if you're on there. I also got within 6 feet of getting the 500-foot trophy on Super Mega Baseball. That doesn't piss me off at all. I got I got a platinum this week.
I can't believe that's real. That's not fucking real.
I got a platinum this week.
Fuck you. No, you didn't.
I bought a game called Stroke the Beaver on a deep sell. It was like $1,
No,
and
you fucking didn't.
you load the game up and you pet the beaver 2,000 times and you get a trophy. So I
The
got
fuck out of here.
71 bronze trophies and a platinum.
No, you fucking didn't.
So I had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You're
so
fucking
happy
with
with
me.
myself. I'm so
Oh, I
happy with
bet you are.
myself.
You feel accomplished?
It's my 6th or 7th platinum. What do you mean?
Uh,
I will buy $1 games to make sure I have more platinums than you for the rest of my life.
oh, well, you can definitely do it, John. You just won't be legitimate.
Um, and then the last thing I played was, oh, I tried to play Civ Rev, but it was, I played it for 30 minutes. It was too much.
Hmm,
I need to, like, actually sit down and play it and look at what I'm doing, and I didn't. I just kinda jumped into it without doing any of the tutorial or remembering how to play because I haven't played it since, like, Civ Rev 2 or 3,
sure.
And, God, it was too much for my brain. I couldn't there's too many choices, and I don't know, I hated it, so I stopped playing it. I need to actually look up some tutorials, make sure I know what I'm doing.
It's a very deep game. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, it's
I
just
tried it at one point on Switch or something.
asking me all kinds of shit. I'm like, "I don't care."
Right.
And then I bought, yeah, EAFC, so played that a little bit today. I think for some people, it's not gonna be as big of a change as they want, or they hope for, but
Sure.
I think it's a quality step in the right direction. A lot of the visuals are different, like, the menus look different for the first time in a decade,
Really.
much more easy to navigate. So, yeah, I started a career mode with Stevenage, which I always do,
Hmm.
because I bought if you buy the regular edition, you get, like, a five-star coach, so when you first make your team now, before you start
Did you pre-order it?
no, I just bought the normal edition, I didn't buy
Hmm. Okay.
you could spend $90 and got it a week early, but that was ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of the shit I don't want, but, like, when
Mhm.
you load up your managerial thing, you pick your play style, so, like, do you wanna be park the bus? Do you wanna do counterattack, wing play? There's all these and it explains each one of them to you, right?
Yeah.
And then you pick which one you want, and then you sign coaches that, hopefully are that tactic, and then you could also scout players that fit your tactic, so I picked, like, the wing. Basically, like, your left back and your right back will overlap, with your
Yeah.
mids,
Right.
and I like that. I like that a lot, so, I did that, all the and then it gives you formation suggestions to play within that, uh,
Hmm.
style, right? So you don't put people in the wrong spot, but, yeah, so I did that, have my signed my five-star coach, and then you basically have an attack coach, a defense, a midfield, and a goalie coach, and then you want so many stars in each one, so, like, I have 3-star coaches and then 1 4-star and 1 5-star. So, like and then I signed another goalie coach. So, because I thought I needed a goalie help because my goalie's my worst player. So I was like, might as well have the coaching bonuses I can get there. And then you get bonuses based off how good the coaches are. So, like, most of my players are like, +2, +3, or +4, and then they'll get a sharpness bonus too. So, like,
Interesting.
that's awesome. I love that. And then the training's completely different. So, like, you could go in and tell people to train more towards energy or more towards sharpness, depending on how you want to. If a guy has a lot
Mhm.
of stamina, you obviously could train him towards, being more sharp. Then when you go to the game, like, if I go to play a game, I get a, match preview. So I can click it, tells me what style they run, who the players to look out for, tells me,
Hmm.
like, their last 5 matches, and then when you go into, training, it has, dribbling, shooting, all the stuff that you would normally do that remember we would always play them the first time, and
Yeah.
then we'd simulate 'em?
Yeah.
What
Uh-huh.
happens now is you get to pick. You pick whichever category you want, then you pick one training exercise there, and you get a single game bonus.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
for every game, if you want, you don't have to. If you want, so like I went and did the cross training for passing. Past that, I had like 4 guys get like a +2 or +3 crossing bonus for the game. That's all the training you do. You play the game.
Okay. I can dig that.
I like that a lot. It lets you choose if you wanna do it or not. There's also a new mode where you can, like, just watch from the sideline as the coach, and you can
Oh,
jump
that's
in when you
cool.
want to. So that was kinda fun to watch the computer play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff after that, though, is very similar. Like, you still have your objectives that look the same, the youth
Mhm.
scouting's still the same, all that's
Okay.
still the same, but presentation-wise, it's as good as it's ever been.
Hmm.
Like, there's little things, like, the guys will walk out they're walking out to the field, and they have, like, that plastic like, the plasticky flooring or whatever, and you
Mhm.
can hear the cleats walking across it, they bounce a ball, it sounds just like it, like, they
Oh,
put a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
effort into that shit that makes it sound legitimate.
Hmm.
So, yeah, and then like, even, like, if we wanna do a co-op season, it's right there on the main menu. I just click co-op season and go straight into you, like, it's a lot more user-friendly, I would
Okay.
say, and I like the coaching staff's a nice addition, so, the only thing about
Mhm.
the gameplay is the players feel heavy the first couple of games,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, but then once you get
Yeah.
used to it, the it actually feels really fluid, like, really fluid.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's as good as it's ever been,
Hmm.
honestly, like, I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to hold strong and pick it up on a sale at some point, but we'll see. Like my wish list is just out of control, and it includes FIFA or not FIFA anymore.
Yeah.
What's it called? The FC24. But I'm gonna try to stay strong. So as far as what I've been playing NBA 2K24, which I wanted to tell you that there's a game trial for NBA 2K24 on the PlayStation Store right now. So if you're intrigued, but don't want to fork over any money, you can check out the trial. So just a heads up on that. Also, I just downloaded the game trial. There's also another new game trial for Company of Heroes 3, which is that World War II real time strategy game that looks really cool. Looks
Yeah.
right up your alley as well. So I downloaded that. Gonna check out that trial at some point. It looks good. Played Cyberpunk 2077, excuse me, Phantom Liberty last weekend and finished it up for my review, which went live on Monday. I gave it a 9 out of 10. The Phantom
Really?
Liberty.
It's your highest ever, isn't it?
It is my second highest ever. My highest was a 9.5 for a PS VR2 game. So,
Mm.
anyway, I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's excellent. It's very, very good. So it's a supreme value. It's for $29.99. You get like 20 hours of new gameplay, a great story. It's well worth it, in my opinion. I tried a little bit of the First Descendant, which is a free to play third person looter shooter that was in beta this past week. I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. It has a lot of potential. I really enjoy what it was doing with the DualSense haptics and everything. It reminds me of a cross between Warframe and like Destiny in a way. Like Warframe, Gears of War, and Destiny kind of had a baby. That's what the First Ascendant is. I think it could be good. It's got some promise. I also played some Payday 3, what we could play
Oh, I
at
forgot
Payday
about that.
3. Yeah, we barely could play because of the servers. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
It
it's fun.
it's fun as long as
I
it's us.
immediately threw a woman off the roof.
You did, oh my god. You did. You didn't know what to do, you panicked, you threw her off the roof.
I
I
just
shot
got
a
her to be
guard in
quiet.
the face. Yeah, I
Yeah, you
shot a
did.
guard in the face because he snuck up on me and scared me and set the alarm off, whatever, so I shot him in the face. Um, but, maybe they can fix those servers soon, and, they're apparently they are doing a patch on October the 5th, which is Thursday, next Thursday. So
Mhm.
maybe there'll be like some definitive fixes after that next Thursday. We'll see. I have been playing Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is out this week on, I think it's October the 5th. So that's Thursday the 5th.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's
Same.
Thursday.
Yeah. So it'll be out in a few days' time from when you're listening to this. Only thing I can say is that I'm playing it. I can't share anything else about the game other than I'm playing it and reviewing it.
Does it
So,
rhyme with, like, dine? Like 9 out of 10? Or, like, made
that's
out of 10? What would you
oh yeah. we'll see. We'll talk about it this
Okay.
time next week.
Rhymes with, Jew out of 10.
Oh, shit.
On my
Wow.
wish list, so
Okay, cool.
and that's all you gave me is a cool? Fuck, you give me anything.
Oh, yeah, cool. Damn, that's crazy. So,
I hope fucking ISIS kills you in that game.
okay, so then, what am I saying here? Oh, a couple things I'm looking forward to. I just downloaded the open beta for Foam Stars, the multiplayer shooter from Square Enix.
Oh, I
That's
need to do that.
yeah, it's pretty small because it's already downloaded. So it's doing an open beta this weekend. I have got to get Assassin's Creed Mirage finished, but I definitely want to play that at some point before it ends. So I've got like tonight, Saturday, Sunday night, because I think it closes at like 3 a.m. Monday morning. So we've got a few days to do that. I think I've got a few hours left of Assassin's Creed Mirage. So
Yeah, finish it tonight, and then we can play the rest of the week.
yeah, that's my hope. That's my hope.
Do it in the morning, whatever, man. Fuck it.
I gotta edit the podcast in the morning. Fuck.
I can't keep track of your life.
I know. Goddamn. I have to get my co-host to edit it. But anyway,
Mm,
something else. Hang on. Please hold. Oh,
that you
uh,
played.
huh? No,
You
Battlefield
played.
20.
Oh,
No. Battlefield 2042 Season 6 is getting
mhm,
revealed on Monday,
mhm.
and it is going to be cyborgs or zombies or some type of shit like this, and I'm down for that. I'm down as fuck for that. I'm quite ready. So I think it's going to be good. And the rumor is that it's releasing on Friday, the new season, but my
Really?
gut tells me it's going to release early the following week. So we'll see. But I'm excited about that. So we'll be jumping back into that soon. Anyway, that's it for me. It's it for Travis. It's it for the show. If you enjoyed it, again, don't forget to subscribe to get a new episode delivered every Monday. Also, we would appreciate if you could leave us a rating or review on your podcast app or a like or comment on the YouTube. If you want to chat PlayStation with us, find us on social media at the DualSense Pod on X, but we're also on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook as well. In addition to our website, which is the DualSense Podcast wordpress.com. So please find us, hit us up, let's chat some PlayStation, and we'll get out of here now. Thank you for listening. As always, have a great week. We'll talk at you next time. Hopefully, the episode uploads this time. We'll see. Cheers.